Alright, what I've got here, guys, on the left side is the Astro-Physics replacement dovetail knob for the 900 and 1200 mount. It's the DOVEKREP, and I just recently ordered 2 of those. Now before we go any further, this is my 1600 mount. I had called Howard. They said, hey, will this fit the 1600? And Howard said he'd double check. He got back and said, yes, it will. So, now when I got this, you'll notice that the keyway, here's the original knob on the right that goes to the 1600. You'll see that the keyway and the angle are not on the same side. So when you put this into the mount, what happens is this sticks way out and you're only going to catch a couple threads, which isn't good at all, and this isn't hitting the dovetail on the mount correctly. So I got back with Howard, and he got back to me and he said that, you know, it was the wrong one, had to be sent back in. Now Howard said that they don't make one for the 1600. So I was going to send it in. Well, then in the evening, that was yesterday, in the evening I started thinking, I can modify this, and if it works, fine, and if I screwed up, no big deal. I took that chance on my own. Now to be clear, these threads are the same. So the threads are the exact same thing on either one of these. The issue is that this pin is too long, and that, again, when we look at the keyway, the orientation, and this angle are incorrect. So let me show you what I'm talking about. When this goes in on the mount, the angle has to, the keyway has to be down and the angle part up. And now that locks you on to the right ascension axis. Now if we take the part that they sent, keyway's got to go down. And I'll be honest, guys, when I did this, and I pulled the other thing out and didn't even look at this angle. Didn't look at the angle in relationship to this keyway. I just put it in there like this. And right there, and I'm not going to tighten it down anymore, because all I did was put it in here, and it's like, well, hell, that's not right. Look at all that sticking out. Because the idea of this was, if you have cabling, not to allow cabling to interfere with the knob. So I took it back out, and it was at that point that I saw the relationship of the angle and that, and then I actually didn't even check the angle, the length of this, and then when I checked the length, I thought, yeah, this is wrong. Alright, so let's fast forward to today, and on the left side is the part they sent. In the middle is the part that I modified. They sent this, but I modified it. And again, this is the original knob right here. Okay, guys, so let's take a look. If we tip this upside down on here, like this, the length is pretty much correct. Okay, no big deal, that little bit. And the orientation to the angle with the keyway is correct. Alright guys, I want to show you something interesting that I kind of picked up on. This is a drill point gauge, and what this does is it allows you to, when you're hand sharpening a drill, to make sure you have the proper angle. Now your standard drill point is 118 degrees, half of that is 59. So when you put your drill on here, you want to make sure that that lip corresponds to this angle. And then you also want to make sure, as you have these different marks here, 30 seconds, that whatever it sets out on one side, you rotate 180, you want it on the same side. Otherwise your drill point will drill off center and it's not properly positioned. So I kind of picked up on something. I thought, well, let me look at this. This is the original one they sent me. If you take a look and you put the threads right up against this base, and you push it up, it's just about 59 degrees. Just a little, you know, so I thought, well, this is close enough. So if you take 90 minus 59, you get 31. So I'm going to show you what I did to get the new one ground to the approximate angle and length. Alright guys, so I'm down in my basement here. I'm going to show you the what I set up. But just in case somebody's not sure what I was talking about, just for further explanation, this is a 118 degree drill bit. So if we stick it up here, we can see that it meets the 59 degree criteria. And it might not be able to see this well, but then you turn the point 180 degrees and it lines up on the same mark here. So that tells you that this drill bit is properly ground, and this is a new one. I did one that I rarely use this size, so I thought I'd show you something that looked good. So that tells you that this drill bit is properly angled and will drill on center. Alright, so I've got this, in fact I did a review of this last year. I bought this last year. I actually made my own belt sander. It didn't have the disc, but it had, but I made my own belt sander, and I had it for years and years, and it was seeing better days. The motor was starting to go out, so I just bought this. I forget the exact price, a couple hundred something, and it's really not a bad thing. I mean, it's not a commercial unit, but it's held up pretty good. Like I said, I did a review of it. And then to hold this, I got this strap on this base only because it holds it very sturdily. And if I want to take this outside and do any work, undo the strap, and it's mobile. But I want to show you the little jig I set up, really simple, to get this. So remember I said 31 degrees is what we wanted to grind that to set up when we do the grind on the opposite side. And now, when I did the review of this thing isn't all that accurate. There's slop in it, and I showed all that in the review. I was pretty thorough. So I just set this up to 30 degrees. It was kind of sloppy, you know, and then I clamped it down so that it wouldn't, I tightened this up, then I clamped this down, okay, so that it wouldn't move, it would stay stationary. Now, I've got some expensive, in fact, I have a master set of gauge blocks. Well, they're 1x1. Would have been nicer to have something a little thinner in here. Well, I sure the hell wasn't going to do that. I didn't want to use any expensive gauge blocks. So I just took some of these 1, 2, 3 blocks that I keep in my basement for things on my drill press. And I needed to extend this line out, if you can see. That, you know, you put that part on there, not enough was going to be hitting this fence. So by extending it just this way and just holding this, okay, I was able to put the part on here and work it, and I'll show you. So this is the one that I haven't done yet, and if you recall, that angle has to be opposite the keyway. So the beauty of this was that, and I'll try to show it here, is that when you took this keyway, and, well, I'll do it like this. If you took that keyway on the side and pushed down hard to where you could just feel that rocket, where you felt that keyway completely like that, where it was flat, now you're going to index it to where when you grind this, it's going to put the opposite grind on it in relationship to this keyway. So that's what I did. Now I'm going to do this. It's going to be hard. I'm not going to set up my camera and do this, but this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do that. And then you're also going to want some water, because this gets warm. So just take your time, be real thorough. And like I said, what I did is I put it down on the table and just orientated that like that. And then pushed it and started grinding. And a little at a time, get it cooled down. And that's how I did it. Well, maybe I'll try to show you a little bit of this. Let's see if I can do that. Just a little bit of this. Now you see I've got that orientated with the keyway. So I'm going to cool it off. Now the rest of this I'm going to do without the camera on, just easier for me to maneuver around and look at it. Alright guys, this is what that looks like. It still needs to be deburred, but I wanted to show you what this will look like when you're done. And then I just cooled it off. Now one thing that you do want to make sure of is you're going to get a lot of little brass dust and everything. And you want to make sure cleanliness. So when I go back outside, I'm going to blow this off with shop air, blow my hands off, blow my clothes off. Even though I wear older clothes, when I'm doing stuff like this, I don't want to transport any of these little fine shavings. I'm going to blow around my hair, my hands, this, make sure everything is clean. Then we're going to go ahead and deburr it. Alright guys, so now I'm going to deburr that little part. And I just thought I'd show you this. I'm going to be using some needle files. And you don't have to have anything expensive if you don't have them. I bought this set, I believe, at Menards. A lot of times they'll have a center thing and it'll have a bunch of crap in there and it'll say, you know, $6, take your pick. So I bought multiple packages of these. I have some better ones, but something like this is perfect. And there's different sizes or different styles depending on, you know, round, half round, whatever, triangular. So, but I just thought I'd tell you, if you don't have a set, these are really good, especially when you're doing some small work. These are ideal. I'm sure you can't use a big file. Alright, I'm going to be doing this. Well, let me try to do this, if it's focused here, on the other side of the camera. And I'm using this flat one. And I'm just going to start by kind of breaking the edge here. That burr that's up on here. And just round this corner a little bit. I'll try to hold this parallel to the face. You know, just feel for any heavy burrs, if there's anything on there. And again, you couldn't imagine a 6-inch file or anything bigger. So I think that's it. Alright, let's see if it works. Alright, so this is the one I just did. And these take the standard 3/16 that a lot of the Astro-Physics different Allen heads fit. And there it is. Now I'm going to pull the other knob off on the other side here. You can see it. I'm going to take that off. We're going to see how well that held. Okay, so now I'm going to lift up and you can see but that ain't going anywhere. Let's put the other one in on the other side. And there you have it. Now, in case you're wondering, guys, this also works with the deck cap. And so what I've done is I've taken the knob off here, and I've just got this on here. You can see it holds perfect. It's not going anywhere.